Hey you guys, it's me Kiana coming at you today, and I'm coming at you with a video. I just was sitting here talking to Daddy, and it's crazy when you think about certain things. You ever think about like when you first met the person that you're with, and when you first like looked at the person that you're with as like, oh, I want him to be my boyfriend or my husband or whatever. And now when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm with the DVD guy. You guys remember that Daddy was the DVD guy. He was the guy that sold all the bootleg DVDs. Yes, I said it. And you guys remember where the whole story. If you've been following my channel, you guys know the whole story. So I'm not even gonna go into the whole drawn out love story that is totally unique and original. And we feel quite honored and blessed to actually have the story that we have because it is truly a testimony. It's a true testimony to how you can actually find true love in the weirdest places, the strangest places, um, and how money doesn't determine your value, your worth. It doesn't determine your character. It doesn't determine all the things that matter to sustain a relationship and to have a certain type of relationship. It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. And our story truly is a testament to that. Um, it truly is a testament to how God orchestrates things for us, because it's no way that Daddy and I would have thought that we would be where we at when we were just friends in that homeless shelter. There's no way that we could have worked everything out in the flesh totally by ourselves. It's no way, because we would have been screwed up everything. In our relationship, because we got married, after our first date, basically, um, we would have continued to live the way that we lived um, as we were learning ourselves and learning each other in our relationship, to see what works for us and to see what each other would tolerate, and all of those things when we were trying to work that out. And a lot of that was actually posted on YouTube. You guys know that. And you know when we were trying to figure each other out and learn each other, because we have a rare situation where we learned each other mainly as we were married. um, that was our learning process of learning each other. We were already married. So when I came to YouTube, we were only married under a year. So when I would vent, you know, if we that was, the human flesh side of us working out issues, and me working out issues and being and reacting to him, and all of that. So if we continue to work things out humanly in the flesh, then we would have been destroyed ourselves, destroyed the relationships, our family, destroyed our relationship personally with each other. We would have been fell by the wayside. And it just truly is a testament to how, when you let go and let God, place Him first, not man, not looking at Chuck so much as my God, not Chuck looking and loving me so much that I become his God, but putting God first, even above our relationship, and then following his guidelines for our relationship. It truly is a testament to that. Now, sure, we're not perfect. Sometimes Chuck can't stand me, and sometimes I can't stand him. But I love him with every fiber in my being. And I know that he loves me not only through his words, but through his actions, through how he holds me, through how he holds me high, through his love for me, his true love, his commitment to me, his passion that he has for me, and I for him, through how we place our family and hold them dear, and how we pray for each other, pray with each other, and pray for each other. And when placing God first. It's kind of like what, when I first, this is my second marriage, this is Chuck's first marriage. And when I first married Chuck, I was still in the mode of thinking that I have to do X, I have to do A, B, C, D to please Chuck. But when I started shifting my way of thinking and thinking about how I had to do A, B, C, D to please God, and in pleasing God and living according to His word, it will please Chuck. That's the shift. Because sometimes when you think about doing A, B, C, D to please a man, your husband, your mate, when you look at it like that, it can cause resentment, especially if you don't think that the person is doing A, B, C, D to please you. And I hope that you're understanding and following what I'm saying. Because you're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and he not doing this and he not doing that. That's what you're thinking in your head. Yeah, the neck move and everything. Yeah. And out here, that's what we're thinking. But when we start to not focus on pleasing the man and pleasing the man, and in pleasing the man is certain things that go along when you're pleasing as a woman and as the woman of the home. It's certain things that goes along with pleasing God that it's going to also coincide with pleasing the husband. So that was a very important and crucial move for me, because a lot of times, especially in the beginning of our relationship, and especially like I said when I was venting and stuff like that on YouTube about the relationship, as I was learning my new husband and he learning me as well, we learning each other, there was a lot of resentment because I didn't feel like it was certain things met emotionally in our relationship or in our life or in my life through him. And when I started to shift that, the resentment lessened and lessened and lessened, because I didn't put so much faith and power into a man, my husband, who was just flesh and blood. I didn't put as much faith and power into him. I put my faith and power into God, focused on my relationship with him, which then focused on or trickled down to focus on our relationship together. Now, this isn't the case if you do not have a mate, a husband, who is not spiritually ready to commit to Christ and live a certain lifestyle. This is not going to work, because you still then will have resentment, because you're still going to see it as you're doing this, you're doing that, and he's not doing this and he's not doing that. It's kind of in the Bible how they tell you how not to throw your pearls at the swine. Okay, which in essence means that you don't keep you don't keep looking for, how can I put it? You don't keep looking for putting your faith or your power or your precious gifts into something that's not worthy of it. You're going to still hold that resentment, because you are then unequally yoked, obviously, and he's not ready, you're ready, or vice versa. It could be she's not ready and you're ready. So, but I just know, and I'm trying to relay this message to you guys because it's important. It was an important move in my life, in my family, in my household, and in my marriage. It was an important move that I didn't just put my focus on pleasing him, but pleasing God. And then what that did was it trickled down to pleasing him, because the Bible is such a blueprint, you guys. We make life so difficult. We make life difficult. Life is difficult, sure. We have some obstacles we have to overcome and all of that. But we make life a lot more difficult because we don't want to follow the blueprint. We always want to try to straddle the fence. We always want to try to, but if I do this, maybe we can't. You can't keep compromising. We can't keep compromising. We can't straddle the fence. We can't say, well, if I do this a little bit and I'll make up for it in this area. We can't keep doing that, because what that does is it causes more complications. When we go off of God's path, we actually wind up making life more complicated because we're off of our path. It's just like a path that you walk on outside. You know how the path that's already dug out and paved is so much smoother to ride down if you're riding a bike. But as soon as you go off that path, you're going to have lumps and bumps and rocks, barriers. You're going to have holes. You're going to have ditches. You're going to have creeks that had to go over, when all we had to do was go on that paved path that was already laid down. It's so much easier. But we as humans, we always want to try to make a detour. We always want to try to make a shortcut. But life going the shortcut, on the detour, you're going to run into jagged edges. You're going to run into barriers. You're going to run into obstacles. You're going to run into a lot of ditches. And it just makes life more difficult. The blueprint is already laid out for us. So when you ask yourself, how can I make my relationship better? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better helpmate? How can I correct the things that I've done wrong in my relationship? All we have to do is follow the blueprint. He will be pleased. Not only God will be pleased, but the husband will as well. Why? Because the blueprint has already been laid out. All the things that that husband desires in his spirit and his soul for a wife, and all the things that he wanted and desired that is already poured into him, those voids, that rib that you are for him, all those desires will be met through Christ if his wife is willing to follow the Father's plan. So he will automatically be pleased. But we need to stop focusing on pleasing the man, because there you're not going to fill the voids. You're going to do it temporarily. But he's going to always have those desires that you aren't fulfilling, because you're not following the path that the Father laid out. It's just like I told you about that path outside. We can get there by making that detour. He can be loved even though you're not on that path. But the path that God laid out is so much sweeter. That void will be filled that he has, that he doesn't even know he has. See, that void that he has was instilled in him before he was even born and conceived. So he doesn't even know it's there. But if you follow the path of the Father, then that void, that fulfillment, that wife that he desires, you will be. So that's just something I share with you guys. So if you've got something of value from this video, I hope that you did. Make sure you thumbs up, because I really truly wanted to share something that was imperative in my relationship. And I've done things wrong in my relationship, you guys. Not only have I said things wrong, I've done things wrong. But those things can be fixed if you go through the Father. They truly can be fixed. Because a man, trust me, a man that has a relationship with Christ, there's nothing more desirable for a man that has a relationship with Christ than a woman that has a relationship with Christ as well. So on that note, you guys, I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you thumbs up. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. The button is right here. Just press the button. It's free. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you thumbs up. I'll talk to you guys later, and be blessed.